What if the silence you are desperately trying to translate is exactly what is meant to set you free? Have you ever noticed how the mind becomes obsessed with what it cannot understand? You sit alone, turning their words over and over in your head. A warm, profound conversation followed by days of absolute silence. A sudden, unexplainable distance from someone you trusted implicitly. You search for meaning in the empty spaces. You ask yourself endless questions. What did I do wrong? What did they really mean? You try to piece together a picture where half the pieces are intentionally hidden. Here is the truth few people want to face. Most of your suffering in these moments is not caused by the other person's actions. It is caused by how tightly you are holding on to the need to understand them. You believe that if you can just decode their behavior, if you can just find the logic in their mixed signals, you will finally find peace. But the harder you try to solve the mystery of another person, the further peace moves away. Buddhist wisdom teaches us about the deep suffering born of attachment. We often think of attachment as clinging to physical things or clinging to the people we love. But one of the most painful forms of attachment is clinging to the need for closure. We attach our inner stillness to the unpredictable actions of another human being. We silently decide that we cannot be okay until they explain themselves. We declare that our healing must pause until the picture makes sense. Buddhism reminds us that this is an illusion. Peace is not found by forcing the world to hand you answers. It is found by accepting that the world does not owe you clarity. Imagine a person standing in a deep, heavy fog. You desperately want to see the path ahead and to know where you are going, but the air is thick and white. If you run frantically in every direction, trying to wave the fog away with your hands, you only exhaust yourself. You become disoriented. The fog does not care about your frantic movements. It will not clear just because you are anxious. It will lift only when the wind changes. But if you stand still, breathe, and simply accept that you cannot see right now, you stop fighting the reality of the moment. You stop suffering. You conserve your energy. We do this same frantic waving when someone we care about starts sending mixed signals. One day they are close, the next they are entirely unreachable. We exhaust our minds trying to wave the emotional fog away. We replay old messages. We analyze the shift in their tone. We look for hidden clues in how they look at us or how long they take to respond. We take their internal confusion and we make it our personal crisis. Think about your own life right now. Ask yourself, what are you still trying to figure out that is simply no longer in your control? How much of your precious limited energy is spent trying to write a logical ending to a story that someone else simply walked away from? Is this constant, exhausting analyzing bringing you closer to peace, or is it only feeding your fear? Pause. Breathe. Notice the desperate urge to know. Let that feeling rise without making it your identity. You do not need to solve the mystery of someone else's mind to be at peace in your own. When you let go of the need to translate every mixed signal, you reclaim your own power. You stop living in the waiting room of someone else's choices. You step out of the fog. But realizing this trap is only the beginning. The mind will still crave certainty because it confuses certainty with safety. And this is where the next truth begins. 2. The illusion of clarity. Here is a truth that is incredibly difficult to accept. The clarity you are desperately waiting for might not even exist. When someone you trust begins to give you mixed signals, you naturally assume there is a hidden, concrete truth behind their behavior. You think to yourself, they must know what they are doing. They must know what they want. You believe that if you just ask the exact right question, or if you just wait long enough, they will finally hand you the missing piece of the puzzle. You assume their mind is a neatly organized room, and they simply have the door locked. But what if their mind is not an organized room? What if it is a storm? We suffer immensely, because we expect consistency from people who are entirely disconnected from their own inner truth. We expect a perfectly straight line from a mind that is caught in a dark labyrinth. You are driving yourself to absolute exhaustion trying to read a map that the other person is still blindly drawing. Buddhism teaches us about the deeply restless nature of the human mind. The mind swings wildly from fear to desire, from clinging to avoidance. We suffer when we project our own deep desire for stability onto someone who is currently lost in their own restlessness. We forget that human beings are complex and fragile. Their feelings change, their hidden fears surface, and their insecurities often take the wheel without warning. Imagine trying to catch the bright reflection of the moon on the surface of a stormy lake. You see the beautiful light on the water, so you reach your hands in, trying to hold it. But every time you reach, you only disturb the water more, and your hands always come up empty. The light was real, but the surface is simply too turbulent to hold its shape. When you demand a perfectly clear answer from someone who is sending mixed signals, you are reaching into stormy water. You are asking them to hold a steady reflection they are not currently capable of holding. Their warmth toward you was real. Their sudden distance is also real. They are simply moving with the heavy turbulence of their own unresolved emotions. Think about how this plays out in your quietest moments. You stare at a silent phone, waiting for a reply that makes sense. You analyze a brief, awkward interaction, wondering why it felt so painfully cold compared to yesterday. And then you do the most damaging thing of all. You decide their confusion is a reflection of your worth. You quietly tell yourself, if I were enough, they would be sure. If I truly mattered, they would be clear. But their mixed signals are rarely a statement about your value. They are an echo of their own inner noise. A person can care about you deeply and still pull away out of fear. They can crave connection and simultaneously run from it. Ask yourself, are you holding your breath waiting for someone to give you a clarity they do not even possess themselves? Are you keeping your own life on pause until they finally figure out how they feel? Stop reaching into the water. Let the ripples be exactly as they are. When the heavy, sinking urge to seek an answer arises today, do not fight it, but do not obey it either. Simply watch it, take a slow breath, and say to yourself, I do not need to make sense of their confusion to be secure in myself. You are allowed to step back from a puzzle that has no solution. You are allowed to let an unanswered question remain exactly that, unanswered. But to truly stop reaching for the reflection in the water, we must confront why we hold on so tightly in the first place. Because the hardest part is not accepting their confusion, but accepting the fragile nature of connection itself. 3. The truth of impermanence in connection. Why does it hurt so much when someone's warmth turns into silence? The answer is surprisingly simple, yet profoundly painful. We expect things to stay exactly the same. When someone we trust shows us a beautiful version of connection, when there is deep understanding, shared laughter, and a profound sense of safety, we immediately want to lock that moment in place. We build our daily expectations around that exact feeling. We assume that because the connection was true yesterday, it must be guaranteed tomorrow. And when their behavior unexpectedly shifts, when the mixed signals begin and the distance grows, our entire foundation shakes. We feel a desperate sense of betrayal. We replay old memories, wondering if the past was a lie just because the present has changed. We feel betrayed not just by the person, but by the change itself. In Buddhist thought, one of the deepest truths of existence is impermanence. Nothing in the physical or emotional world remains entirely still. Everything is in a constant state of flux. The seasons turn, the weather shifts, and the human heart, with all its beautiful complexity, also expands and contracts. Buddhism teaches us that our deepest suffering comes from trying to freeze a river in place. We suffer because we demand permanence from a world that is designed to change. Imagine trying to hold a handful of dry, fine sand. If you keep your hand open and completely relaxed, the sand rests safely in your palm. But the moment you become afraid of the wind blowing it away, the moment you panic and clench your fist tightly, the sand immediately begins to slip through the spaces between your fingers. The harder you squeeze to keep it safe, the faster it empties from your grasp. The very act of frantic clinging accelerates the loss. We do exactly this with relationships that suddenly feel uncertain. The moment we sense a shift, a shortened conversation, a lack of eye contact, an avoided question, fear takes over. We clench our emotional fists. We push for immediate answers. We try to force the connection back to the way it felt 3 months ago. We exhaust ourselves trying to squeeze the sand, hoping that sheer effort will stop the natural, quiet shifting of another person's reality. Think about the connection you are agonizing over right now. Ask yourself, are you trying to force it to look exactly the way it did in the past? Are you resisting the reality of how it looks right now? What are you so afraid will happen if you simply let the sand rest in an open hand? Pause. Unclench your hands. Breathe deeply into the tight space in your chest where the fear lives. Do not try to trap the connection in a cage just to soothe your own anxiety. Let it breathe. Do your part gently, then release the outcome. Allowing connection to be fluid does not mean the connection you felt was a lie. It simply means it is alive, and everything alive must move. The warmth was real. The distance is also real. But letting go of our tight grip requires a tremendous amount of inner strength. It requires us to stop looking outward for our balance. Because the longer we stare at the shifting currents of another person's actions, the more disoriented we become. 4. The muddy water metaphor. What if your desperate attempts to fix the confusion are exactly what is making it worse? When someone we care about starts sending mixed signals, our deepest instinct is usually action. We feel an overwhelming, almost physical urgency to do something to close the emotional gap. If they pull away, we lean in closer. If they are silent, we fill the empty space with our words. We write long, carefully constructed messages, trying to explain our feelings, hoping they will finally understand. We ask them over and over if everything is okay, trying to force a conversation they are clearly trying to avoid. We believe that if we just push a little harder, the confusion will finally clear. But here is the truth. You cannot force clarity into a space that is not ready for it. Buddhist wisdom teaches us a profound lesson about the nature of stillness. We often mistakenly believe that peace is something we must actively build, fight for, or aggressively pursue. We think clarity is a prize we win through sheer effort. But true peace is not a forced outcome. It is a natural settling. Imagine a glass filled with muddy water. The water is dark, thick, and chaotic. You desperately want the water to be clear. So, what do? If you reach your hand into the glass and try to push the dirt down to the bottom, you only stir it up more. If you shake the glass, hoping the dirt will magically disappear, the water becomes even darker. The harder you try to physically force the water to clear, the muddier it remains. The only way to clear muddy water is to do absolutely nothing. You must put the glass down on a quiet table, step back, and simply let it sit. Given enough time and stillness, the dirt will naturally sink to the bottom, and the water will clear entirely on its own. We treat the mixed signals of others like a glass of muddy water, and we cannot stop plunging our hands into it. Think about how this looks in your everyday life. Instead of letting the moment be, you stir the water. You send another message. You check their social media for clues. You demand an immediate late-night conversation to resolve a tension that has not even fully formed yet. Every desperate attempt to gain an answer is just you shaking the glass. You are not creating clarity, you are only multiplying the chaos. Ask yourself, where in your life are you refusing to let the water settle? What situation are you constantly stirring? Because you are terrified of what you might see when the dirt finally falls to the bottom. Are you trying to force someone else's emotional chaos to organize itself on your strict timeline? Pause, breathe, step back from the glass. Let the silence be silent. You do not have to fill every empty space with your anxiety. You do not have to chase what is already leaving, and you do not have to forcefully fix a confusion that you did not create. Sometimes, the most powerful and spiritually mature action you can take is to do absolutely nothing. Leave the glass on the table, let their confusion be theirs. But doing nothing is not the same as waiting in agony. True stillness requires you to pull your quiet energy away from their glass and return it entirely to your own. And this is where the next truth begins. 5. Reclaiming your inner anchor. What happens when you realize you have handed the keys to your emotional survival to someone who does not even know where they are going? When we are caught in the painful cycle of mixed signals, we rarely notice how much of ourselves we have entirely abandoned. We wake up in the morning and immediately check our phone, allowing a silent screen to decide if we are going to have a good day. If they are warm and responsive, we feel a sudden rush of safety. We can finally breathe. But if they are distant, cold, or completely absent, we instantly collapse inward. We let the unpredictable weather of another person's mind dictate the climate of our own soul. Buddhism teaches us about the profound importance of taking refuge within ourselves. We suffer deeply because we build our emotional homes on the shifting sands of other people's validation. We believe that if they just act consistently, we will finally feel secure. But true inner peace cannot be conditional. It cannot rely on the temporary actions of another human being, because human beings are entirely fallible. When you tie your absolute peace to someone else's clarity, you are guaranteeing your own suffering. Imagine a small wooden boat sitting on the open ocean. A heavy storm rolls in, the wind howls, the sky turns violently dark, and massive waves begin to crash against the hull. If the boat has no anchor, it is entirely at the mercy of the storm. It is violently tossed by every single wave, drifting dangerously off course, completely powerless against the chaotic water. But if the boat drops a heavy iron anchor deep down into the ocean floor, far beneath the turbulent surface, everything changes. The boat will still rock, it will still feel the heavy rain, but it will not wash away. It remains securely held by something far deeper and infinitely more stable than the surface weather. Right now, you are living like a boat without an anchor. Every time they pull away, a wave hits you, and you drift blindly into panic. Every unanswered question is a sudden gust of wind that spins you around. You are exhausting yourself trying to fight the storm of their mixed signals, when your only actual responsibility is to drop your anchor. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, where is your anchor resting right now? Have you unknowingly handed it to someone who is currently lost in their own storm? Are you letting their confusion determine your actual worth? Why are you allowing an unanswered message or a sudden shift in tone to completely dismantle your inner world? Pause, breathe. Feel the quiet physical weight of your own body. Pull your scattered energy back from the endless analyzing. Pull it back from the silent spaces they left behind. Bring it back here, into this quiet moment, into your own chest. You do not need their permission to feel grounded. You do not need their clarity to know your own value. Stop searching the horizon for a rescue boat that is not coming, and realize you already have the ability to hold yourself steady in the water. Reclaiming your anchor is the profound realization that you are safe, even when they are confused. You are whole, even when they are distant. But dropping your anchor does not mean the waves instantly stop crashing against the boat. You will still feel the sudden burning urge to fight the water. And this is where the profound practice of non-reaction must begin. 6. The art of non-reaction. What if your deepest power lies not in what you do, but in what you gracefully refuse to do? We live in a world that constantly conditions us to respond instantly. When someone we care about sends a confusing message or suddenly goes completely silent, an immediate, burning urgency flares up inside us. We feel attacked by the ambiguity. We feel an overwhelming pressure to defend ourselves, to confront them, or to eagerly over-explain our own feelings, just to smooth things over. We mistakenly believe that if we react swiftly, if we send the perfect reply, or demand an immediate explanation, we are taking control of the situation. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us about the profound, quiet power of the pause. In Buddhist thought, one of the greatest sources of our suffering is our blind reactivity. We are constantly reacting to pleasant and unpleasant sensations, becoming trapped in a cycle of emotional whiplash. Buddhism reminds us that you do not have to accept every invitation to suffer. You can observe the turbulence without becoming part of it. Imagine a vast, perfectly clear, open sky. Suddenly, a cluster of dark, heavy clouds begins to roll in. The clouds are erratic, unpredictable, and cast heavy shadows. If you are the sky, you do not panic when the clouds arrive. You do not try to physically push them away, nor do you shrink yourself to hide from them. You simply remain vast, open, and still. You allow the dark clouds to drift across your massive expanse. The clouds may temporarily block the sun, but they can never damage the sky itself. Eventually, the wind carries them away, and the quiet blue expanse remains completely untouched. In your life, the mixed signals of others are simply dark clouds drifting across your emotional sky. Someone leaves you in silence for days, only to suddenly reach out with casual warmth. Your immediate instinct is to strike back with anger, or to instantly drop your boundaries and welcome them back out of sheer relief. Both of these are blind reactions. When you react instantly to their unpredictable weather, you forget your own vastness. You shrink your entire reality down to the size of their passing cloud. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, how often do you surrender your peace just because someone else handed you their emotional chaos? What would happen if you simply let their confusing behavior drift past you without immediately trying to grab it, fix it, or fight it? Is your immediate reaction truly bringing you peace? Or is it just feeding a cycle of endless exhaustion? The next time the confusion hits, do this. Pause, breathe. Feel the sudden heat of panic or the heavy weight of sorrow rise in your chest, and simply watch it. Let the feeling rise without making it your identity. You do not have to reply immediately. You do not have to fix their inconsistency today. Let the storm pass without becoming the storm. Because true control is never about forcing another person to act the way you want. True peace is mastering the quiet space between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. But holding that pause eventually forces us to face a terrifying reality. It forces us to stop trying to guarantee their presence. And this is where the next truth begins. 7. Leaving the door unlocked. What if the ultimate release of pain is not found in a dramatic goodbye, but in a quiet surrender? When we are trapped in the agonizing gray area of mixed signals, our minds desperately crave a black and white resolution. The uncertainty feels like a physical weight on our chest. We believe that to protect our own heart, we must force an absolute ending. We decide we have to block their number, burn the bridge, or confront them and declare that we are walking away. Or, conversely, we stand frozen in the doorway, terrified to move, holding our breath in the hopes that they will finally step inside and stay. We exhaust all of our energy trying to violently manage the entryway of our own lives. Buddhist wisdom teaches us about the profound suffering that comes from clinging to extremes. We constantly bounce between fierce grasping and fierce pushing away. But in Buddhist thought, true peace is found in the middle path, the space of complete non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean you do not care. It means you stop trying to wrestle reality into a shape that makes you feel temporarily safe. It means you stop trying to forcefully finalize what is naturally unfinished. Imagine you are standing at the heavy front door of your own home. The weather outside is entirely unpredictable. If you spend your entire day leaning all your weight against the door to keep the unpredictable wind out, your muscles will scream in agony. You will be exhausted. But if you stand there holding the door wide open, staring out into the dark, waiting endlessly for someone who may never arrive, you will freeze. Both actions trap you at the threshold. You spend your entire life at the entryway, completely ignoring the beautiful, warm house behind you. What if you just closed the door, left it quietly unlocked, and walked back into your own life? You do not have to bolt them out of bitter anger. You do not have to stand there holding the door open in quiet desperation. You simply let the door rest, walk into the center of your own home, and sit down by the fire. If they arrive, they arrive. If they do not, you are already resting. Think about the exhausting ways you are trying to physically or emotionally manage their presence right now. You debate whether to quietly erase them from your life. You craft elaborate final messages in your mind to give yourself closure. You try to assert your power by aggressively shutting them out, without realizing that your sudden aggression is just another form of deep attachment. Even in your pushing away, you are still letting their confusion dictate your actions. Ask yourself, are you spending all of your precious energy guarding a door that no one is currently knocking on? What are you truly afraid will happen if you simply walk away from the entryway? Pause, breathe. Stop trying to force the door open and stop trying to bolt it shut. You do not need a dramatic ending to move forward. You do not need to loudly announce your departure to prove you are strong. Let the connection be exactly what it is right now, uncertain, shifting, and completely out of your hands. Return to your own warmth. Give them the quiet dignity of making their own choices, and give yourself the absolute grace of not having to manage them. Because true peace is not about physically keeping someone away. It is about resting so deeply in yourself that their presence or absence no longer controls your peace. But to truly sit quietly in your own home, you must release the heavy resentment you carry over the answers they never gave you. And this is where the next truth begins. 8. Forgiving the unanswered question. What if the closure you are desperately waiting for is the very thing keeping you trapped? When someone leaves us in the painful space of mixed signals, a quiet, heavy resentment often begins to build. We feel robbed of a proper ending. We feel entirely dismissed. We believe that we cannot truly heal until they finally come back and explain themselves, until they acknowledge the confusion they caused, or until they simply say they are sorry. We tie our own healing strictly to their eventual realization. We secretly think that if we just let the silence go without demanding an answer, we are letting them get away with hurting us. But here is the truth. You are not holding them accountable by holding on to your pain. You are only punishing yourself. Buddhist wisdom teaches us a profound lesson about the true nature of forgiveness and resentment. In Buddhist thought, holding on to anger or waiting endlessly for an apology is often compared to grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the only one getting burned. Forgiveness is not about validating their erratic behavior. It is not about pretending the mixed signals did not hurt you deeply. It is simply the profound internal decision to stop letting their past actions burn your present hands. Imagine walking down a quiet path and someone suddenly throws a heavy, jagged rock at you. It strikes you, it hurts, and the person immediately walks away into the completely silent woods. Instead of treating your wound and continuing on your beautiful journey, you pick up the heavy, sharp rock. You carry it with you every single day. You take it to bed. You carry it to work. You decide you must hold it until you find the person who threw it, just so you can force them to explain why they did it and make them apologize. Months pass. They are completely gone, and you are exhausted, your hands bleeding from holding the sharp edges of a rock that does not even belong to you. We do exactly this with the unanswered questions of people who have left us confused. Think about your own life right now. You are carrying their silence like a heavy, sharp stone. You constantly replay the sudden shifts in their tone. You draft endless arguments in your head, hoping that one day you will finally have the chance to make them understand exactly how much they disrupted your peace. But they are not carrying this weight. They are not feeling the sharp edges of your resentment. You are the only one bleeding. Ask yourself, is holding on to this anger truly protecting you? Or is it only keeping you eternally connected to the very person who disrupted your inner stillness? What would happen if you simply put the rock down? Pause. Breathe. Notice the heavy weight of the unsaid words resting in your chest. You do not need their apology to heal. You do not need their clear explanation to move forward. You are allowed to forgive the unanswered question entirely on your own. Forgive them for not knowing how to handle their own inner storm, and more importantly, forgive yourself for holding on to the rock for so long. Drop the stone. Let your hands be empty. Because closure is never a gift that someone else hands you. It is a quiet, powerful decision you make in the center of your own heart. And this is where the final transformation begins. 9. Letting life meet you where you are. We began this journey standing in the heavy fog of someone else's silence. We talked about the profound exhaustion of trying to translate the unspoken and the quiet agony of reaching into stormy water to catch a reflection that keeps breaking apart. You arrived here carrying the heavy weight of mixed signals, wondering how you could possibly find your inner peace when the picture is missing half of its pieces. But look at the quiet space you have now created. You realize now that true peace is never found by forcefully clearing the fog. It is not found by gripping the shifting sand or aggressively stirring the muddy water until your hands ache. Peace is the quiet, profound decision to simply stop fighting reality. It is the deep realization that you do not have to collapse inside just because someone else does not know how to stay. When you finally stop chasing the closure you think you need, a strange and beautiful freedom washes over you. You step away from the entryway. You leave the heavy door quietly unlocked, and you walk back into the warmth of your own life. You pull your anchor back from their turbulent ocean and drop it securely into your own stillness. You realize that letting an unanswered question remain entirely unanswered is not a painful defeat. It is the ultimate act of self-respect. You are quietly declaring that your precious, limited energy is too valuable to be spent in the waiting room of someone else's confusion. Buddhism reminds us that we cannot control the unpredictable weather of another person's heart, but we never have to. You are the vast, open sky. You are expansive enough to let their dark clouds drift right past you without shrinking your own world. Their warmth was real, and their sudden distance is real, but neither of those things defines your inherent worth. You are allowed to be completely whole right now, exactly as you are, without ever receiving the final piece of their puzzle. Think about the quiet, unshakable power you now hold. You no longer need to be the frantic translator of their silence. You no longer have to carry the sharp rock of resentment just to prove you were hurt. You can simply put it down. You can let the sand fall gently from an open hand. You can let the muddy water settle entirely on its own. Trust that the silence itself has already given you the answer. Trust that walking away from the confusion does not mean you failed at connection. It simply means you finally chose yourself. You have given them the dignity of their own path, and you have given yourself the grace of a quiet mind. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. Subscribe to walk this path with us, and take one final, gentle breath into the quiet space you have reclaimed. You can let go now.